And welcome back. Democratic Senator Chris Coons sits on the Judiciary and Foreign Relations Committee and joins me now from Capitol Hill as Donald Trump is assembling this cabinet. Senator, thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you, Andrea.
Good to see you today.
Good to see you.
Well, let's talk about the possible choices for the national security cabinet. What concerns, if any, do you have about David Petraeus, Mitt Romney, Rudy Giuliani, the finalists for Secretary of State?
Well, my concern is that in the course of his campaign, President-elect Trump said a wide range of things, some of them alarming or concerning to our key allies around the world. And President-elect Trump has very limited foreign policy experience, so it's my hope that he will nominate for Secretary of State someone with real experience, someone who's well-grounded, and someone who can work in a diplomatic way with our vital allies and with Congress.
Is Rudy Giuliani that person?
Well, I don't know Mayor Giuliani. I know the other three. And I must say he obviously had great experience leading the city of New York and as mayor during a very difficult time after 9/11. But frankly, I think he might face some ethics conflicts in terms of his global network of clients with whom he's advised. And he might face some challenges in terms of his confirmation hearings here. I think our role as a member of the loyal opposition, Senate Democrats, on the Foreign Relations Committee and on other committees is going to be to make sure that President-elect Trump's nominees get what Judge Merrick Garland never got, which is a free and fair hearing where we ask a lot of tough questions so that the American people can know the direction that potential nominees to be Secretary of State or Attorney General might take us going forward, because the campaign was so tumultuous and because it's so hard to discern exactly what President-elect Trump intends to do, especially in foreign relations and national security.
Vladimir Putin gave his annual address, his State of the Nation address today, and talked about cooperation between Russia and the U.S. in solving global problems. Is the Congress going to investigate the whole issue of Russia's intervention, interference, as the intelligence community made very clear in our election in terms of targeting Democratic organizations with cyber hacking?
Well, Andrea, I think it's outrageous. We haven't had hearings yet, full hearings, in a number of committees. I know the intelligence community has considered the evidence, but as you reference, now months ago, leaders of our intelligence community across a number of agencies notified Congress and made it clear to the public that they believe that at the highest levels, the Russian government was directly involved in hacking into elements of our political system, the DNC, attempting to hack into a number of state election boards and making other individualized attacks. And I think it's striking that we haven't seen hearings here on the Foreign Relations Committee or the Armed Services Committee that have taken this issue up. I do think it's something we need to stand up in a bipartisan way and address. We have heard strong statements from a number of senators. Fairly recently, Republican Senators McCain and Graham have made it clear that if Donald Trump intends to move forward with some of his more controversial campaign proposals, such as reinstating the use of waterboarding, widely viewed as a torture technique, or by embracing Putin and selling down the river the people of the Crimean Peninsula, whose territory was illegally annexed and occupied by Russia, that there would be strong opposition. And it's my hope that that opposition would be bipartisan.
And finally, what about David Petraeus? Well regarded in both parties. He's been living, a full life in terms of foreign policy and in terms of academic work in the last couple of years. But he does have this hanging over his head. He's still under probation. Is that a problem for him were he to become Secretary of State?
I think that could be a real challenge, Andrea, especially coming off a campaign where the handling of classified material was made such a central issue by President-elect Trump. I know General Petraeus. I have visited him in Afghanistan when he was ISAF commander, and I've met with him here. He's very smart, very skilled, and very broadly knowledgeable about world affairs. But I do think the character flaw that sort of bedeviled the end of his career in public service so far, would become a central issue in confirmation hearings. I will say I've just come from a hearing of the Foreign Relations Committee that Senator Bob Corker was very ably chairing. Senator Corker is a very conservative Republican, but someone who I am pleased to hear is also in consideration, given his breadth of experience, both running the committee well and traveling throughout the world in recent years and looking head on at some of the significant diplomatic and security challenges that our country faces.
Thank you very much. Good to see you again. Thank you, Senator.